What if, amid life's storm, you could find an anchor that never gives way? What if, when anxiety tightens your chest and uncertainty clouds your mind, there was a gentle voice whispering, "I am here, and my promises never fail"? Life can push us to our limits, deadlines at work, worries about family, or that feeling that sometimes our faith is colder than we care to admit. But what if today God were inviting you to hold fast to His promises, to find peace in His faithfulness, and to walk with confidence even beneath a grey sky? Our days are intense. We wake to the persistent sound of the alarm, gulp down a hurried coffee whilst checking messages on our phones, and rush to keep up with a schedule that seems never-ending. Whether battling the morning traffic, juggling the demands of a taxing job, or trying to be present for family, modern life often leaves us drained. Anxiety has become a constant companion for many. Worries about finances, health, or the future of our children in such an uncertain world. Perhaps you've wondered, is God really in control? Do His promises still apply to my life with all its flaws and frustrations? Moreover, there are moments when our faith appears to falter. We attend church, sing the hymns, read the Bible, yet sometimes it feels as though the words find no echo in our hearts. Spiritual coldness can descend like a silent fog, making us question whether we are truly connected to God. Emotional exhaustion, the pressure to maintain appearances, or the pain of loss and disappointment can make us feel as though we bear the weight of the world alone. But it is precisely at these moments, when the skies are heavy and hope feels distant, that God's promises shine like a beacon, guiding us back to Him. Today, let us reflect on trusting God's promises. The Bible assures us that God is faithful, and His words are unshakable, even when everything around us seems unstable. In Isaiah 40:31, we find a powerful invitation. "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." And in Hebrews 10:23, we are encouraged to stand firm. "Let us hold unswervingly to the hope we profess, for He who promised is faithful." These verses remind us that God's promises are not merely pretty words. They are firm foundations built upon His unchanging nature. He does not promise a life without challenges, but He promises to be with us through every one. He does not guarantee the path will be easy, but assures us He will give us strength to walk it. So how do we live out this trust daily, amidst the pressures and uncertainties of modern life? Imagine you are trekking a mountainous path, carrying a rucksack so heavy that each step is a struggle. The wind blows cold, the trail is steep, and the summit seems out of reach. Suddenly, someone you trust completely appears by your side and says, "Give me that rucksack, I will carry it, trust me." Relieved, you hand over the burden, and suddenly the path feels lighter, more possible. Such is trusting in God's promises. He invites us to hand over the weight of anxiety, fear, and doubt, promising that He will care for us step by step. Consider Anna, a single mother working long hours in an office. She loves her children, but the pressure of paying bills, helping with homework, and keeping the house in order leaves her exhausted. At night, when the children are asleep, she feels alone, wondering if God truly sees her. One evening, as she reads the Bible, she finds Psalm 23:1. "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want." These words touch her deeply. She realizes God does not promise a life without hardship, but promises to provide for her needs, to be by her side, and to guide her with love. Anna begins to pray more sincerely, handing her worries over to God, and finds a peace that sustains her through the next day. Or take Tom, a young professional whose faith feels weakened. He attends church regularly, but the routine of work and social pressures have left him drained. Tom wonders if God still has a plan for his life. Reading Isaiah 40:31 reminds him that hoping in God is not passive waiting, but active trusting. It is like an eagle that does not fight the wind, but rides the air currents, soaring with grace and strength. Inspired, Tom decides to set aside 10 minutes daily to pray and meditate on the Word, trusting God to gradually renew his faith. These stories resonate with many of us. Perhaps you face the pressure of a demanding job, cope with family tensions, or carry the burden of recent loss. Perhaps uncertainty about the future steals your peace. God's promises do not remove challenges, but offer hope that transcends circumstances. They remind us that God is present even on the hardest days, and his faithfulness surpasses our doubts. Think of an ancient stone bridge that has weathered centuries of storms. It is neither beautiful nor modern, but it is reliable. God's promises are like that, unshakable, eternal, able to bear the weight of our greatest concerns. When we trust in them, we find strength to go on, even when the path is uncertain. How then can we live trusting God's promises in our day-to-day lives? Here are some practical suggestions to weave that trust into your routine. Start your day with a biblical promise. Before diving into the rush of the day, take a moment to read a promise from God. For instance, Psalm 55:22 says, "Cast your cares on the Lord, and he will sustain you." Write this verse on a card and carry it with you, or stick it on your bathroom mirror. Let it be a constant reminder of God's presence. Practice surrender in moments of anxiety. When you feel the weight of anxiety, whether before a work presentation, a difficult conversation with family, or a financial worry, pause for a moment. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and pray. Lord, I hand this over to you. I trust your promise to take care of me. This small act of surrender can shift your perspective and bring peace. Connect with the Christian community. Faith is strengthened in community. Join a small group at your church, attend a Bible study, or invite a Christian friend for a coffee and share your struggles. Hebrews 10:23 calls us to hold fast to hope without wavering, and community helps us stand firm. Sharing your worries and praying together can be a powerful reminder of God's faithfulness. Reflect on God's faithfulness at the end of the day. Before going to bed, take a few minutes to think, where did I see God today? Perhaps in an unexpected moment of peace, a kind word from a colleague, or a small victory in a challenge. Write these experiences down in a journal or notes app. Over time, you'll see how God is present even on the toughest days. Memorize a biblical promise. Choose a promise that speaks to your heart and learn it by heart. Jeremiah 29:11 is a wonderful choice. For I know the plans I have for you, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Repeat it in moments of doubt or fear, letting it renew your confidence. Create visible reminders of God's faithfulness. Place reminders in strategic spots, a verse on your phone screen, a phrase written in your diary, or even a bracelet with a word like faith or trust. These prompts can help keep your focus on God's promises throughout the day. Practice gratitude. Gratitude helps us see God's promises at work. At the end of each day, list 3 things you are grateful for. They can be simple things, like a laugh shared with a friend, a delicious meal, or a starry sky. This practice trains your heart to recognize God's goodness even amid challenges. These practices aren't instant fixes, but seeds planted in fertile soil. Over time, they grow and bear fruits of peace, hope, and trust. God doesn't expect us to be perfect. He simply invites us to take one step at a time towards Him. Trusting God's promises is an act of courage. It's choosing to believe He is faithful, even when the future is uncertain. It's deciding to rest in His goodness, even when your heart feels restless. God's promises are like stars shining in a dark night. They don't remove the darkness, but they guide us home. Today, God is inviting you to hold firm to His promises, to hand your burdens over to Him, and to walk with the certainty that He is by your side. How about taking that step now? Take a moment to close your eyes, breathe deeply, and give God that worry weighing on your heart. He is listening, He is faithful, and He will never abandon you.